BTS News.an hour ago, the ARMY world was shocked again by the shocking confession of one of the BTS members who has been known to be very protective of his partner, Jungkook. Over the years, many fans have noticed how Jungkook, Magne, or the youngest member of BTS, always shows an attentive attitude, gentle and protective of Park Jimin. But only this time, the reason behind his attitude was really revealed clearly and not from speculation, fan theories, or analysis of video footage. This time, the source is directly from Jungkook himself in an interview that was conducted privately but has been published by one of the major South Korean media. Jungkook speaks without script, without censorship, and without intermediaries. He opened his mind honestly about how he looked at Jimin since the beginning of their debut, their journey together in BTS, as well as how his feelings and thoughts change over time. At the beginning of the interview, the atmosphere was still light. Jungkook jokes about life in the military, about how he longed for such simple freedoms as singing in the shower or sitting for a long time over a cup of coffee on the balcony. But when the question about Jimin came up, his tone changed. His gaze is deeper. He took a deep breath, as if trying to summarize decades of their relationship in one sentence. "I always take care of Jimin Hyung, because he took care of my heart when I didn't even know how to take care of myself," Jungkook said slowly, his voice trembling but full of confidence. The sentence was like a key to the opening of the box of memories that had been hidden behind the stage and glass screen glitter. He continued, telling about the difficult times of trainees. When he was a teenager, he came to Seoul with big dreams but no direction. "I don't know where to start. I don't know how to survive." But he was always there, quietly but very real. Jungkook explained that in the early years of BTS, there was a lot of pressure that made him almost give up. "It feels small, not good enough. I don't know how to be a part of something so big." At that time, according to him, Jimin is the only person who understands his loneliness without having to explain it. He will wait for me to finish training. He would ask me how I was doing even if I answered coldly. She even cried in the bathroom once after seeing me exhausted and forcing herself to continue training, Jungkook said. Their relationship, as he explained, not an instant relationship or full of hugs every day. Sometimes they fight. Sometimes they quietly move away. But always come back looking for each other. "I think we find each other in this confusing world," Jungkook said. This confession left the public speechless. Social media exploded. Armies from around the world flooded the platform with emotional reactions. Many were moved. Many admitted that they had only really understood how deep and sincere the relationship between Jungkook and Jimin was. Hashtags like #ThankYouJungkook and #ProtectJimin started trending just minutes after the video was released. But it doesn't stop there. Jungkook also mentioned one of the most defining moments in his life that made him promise to himself to always protect Jimin, whatever happens. "It was 2018, he said. "We are in a difficult time emotionally. A lot of pressure, a lot of doubts. And I saw Jimin Hyung sitting alone in the rehearsal room, crying. Not because I'm tired, but because she feels like a failure as Hyung, as a singer, as part of us. At that moment, I realized, if I could do one thing in my life right, then I want to make sure she never feels that way again." The sentence echoed, especially when Jungkook added that Jimin never knew about the promise. He never said it directly, but his whole attitude and action since then, from how he watched Jimin eat, sleep, perform, up to how he stands beside her whenever there is an issue or a hurtful rumor, it's a promise he made to himself. Jimin, who has not given a direct response related to the interview, called by several sources near the middle, moved and cried while watching it. A staff member who had worked with them confirmed that Jungkook and Jimin's relationship was indeed very unique. There are many things that cannot be described in words. But if you look at how they look at each other, touching each other's shoulders, or even keeping each other quiet, you will know that it is not just an ordinary friendship. It is a pure form of affection. This story became a deep reflection for many. In a fast-paced world, a sincere relationship like this becomes a refreshing oasis. Jungkook, who has been known for its strong image, perfectionist, and full of charisma, showing his most fragile and most human side. He revealed that taking care of someone is not a form of weakness, it's a form of courage. "I'm not ashamed to say that I want to protect him. This world can be cruel. But as long as I can stand, I want to be a place where he can feel safe." This statement makes many people wonder, Does this mean more than just a co-working relationship? Is there something deeper between Jungkook and Jimin? But most of the army chose not to interfere with the sincere meaning of the confession with speculation. For them, it's about two humans taking care of each other, understand each other, and grow together. Some psychology experts invited by the media to respond to this interview also provide an interesting perspective. They mentioned that Jungkook and Jimin's relationship could be a real example of what is called emotional co-regulation, a condition in which two individuals form an emotional system that supports and stabilizes each other. Relationships like this are rare and very strong. It usually happens between siblings or couples who have gone through a lot together. The fact that they're shaping this in such a harsh industrial world shows tremendous emotional maturity. A psychologist from Yonsei University, meanwhile, the international fanbase started hosting the project as a form of appreciation for Jungkook and Jimin. Such projects include the creation of compilation videos of their moments, digital murals in some major cities, up to donations on their behalf to organizations that support mental health. One of the Army of Brazil wrote, "We love them not only because they are idols, but because they are human beings who teach us how to love sincerely." In just over an hour since the confession spread, Jungkook and Jimin's relationship has touched the hearts of millions of people. Not because of the sensations, but because of the depth and sincerity. It's not about rumors, it's not about shipping, it's not about celebrity hype. It is about one young boy who grows up with someone who changes his life, and now, it reciprocates in the most beautiful way. Caring. This story will likely continue to resonate in BTS's history. It's not just because of Jungkook's honesty, but because it reminds us all that taking care of someone is the most sincere form of love that can be given even when it's not spoken. Rather, it is manifested only in daily actions. When asked if he would continue to look after Jimin in the future, even when they are no longer on stage, Jungkook just smiled a little and replied with one simple sentence, which again shakes the heart of anyone who hears it. "He is my home." And from there, the world knows. The answer to why Jungkook always took care of Jimin is no longer a mystery. It is love, in its purest form, the simplest and most honest. After the interview was released, BTS members who are currently serving their military service began to respond one by one. Although they are in different places and conditions, the emotional vibes of Jungkook's confession touched every heart that had ever been with them. The first reaction came from Kim Tae-young, or V, who is known to be very close to both. Through an internal military platform accessible only to active soldiers, Tae-young wrote a message that was later reshared by Big Hit with special permission. In his message, V said, "I thought I knew everything about you. But Jungkook always had a way of keeping us quiet. Jimin, Hyung, you are the reason why Jungkook can be the one he is now. And Jungkook, you're the brother everyone expects. I'm proud to have walked with you." The message was welcomed by fans. Not a few say that Taeyoung's words are like a mirror of many people's feelings, proud, excited, and happy at the same time. Meanwhile, Jin Young is known for his hilarious and feisty style, given no less touching response. In an online chat session at the military headquarters, he said, "We've grown, yes. All he knew was to eat and sleep, and now he could say things like that. But yes, I saw for myself. He did always have eyes that just looked at Jimin like home."